Welcome in to the Daily Wolves podcast. Welcome, Daily Wolves Courtside. We're live right now. People are joining up. Oh my God, we have 90 in a millisecond. The second we went live, we're over 100. Just like that. We've been alive for 2 seconds. This is the biggest live podcast out there right now for the Minnesota Timberwolves. We're the Daily Wolves Courtside. Shout out to everyone joining up. The Minnesota Timberwolves, obviously, they beat the series. And that's why we got everyone joining in. It's a celebration, man. I know it's late. I know people have work in the morning, but it's worth it. It's worth staying up. Andrew, before we get into every single thing that we want to get into, let's kind of get everyone pumped up. Let's get everyone in here real quick. We're going to go to a quick 30-second, and we'll be right back, and then the show will start. Man, let's go. Let's fucking go. Let's go. That's all I can say. We can't take it out of it. Let's go, guys. Over 300 people in here with the live. The Minnesota Timberwolves, they just beat the Los Angeles Lakers before the series started, Andrew. Minus 200 for the Lakers to win the series. Minus 200. All I heard was Lakers in 5. That's all I heard. Everywhere we went, everything we posted our hype video. We had numerous Lakers fans posting Lakers in 5 on there. And the Minnesota Timberwolves proved that wrong. Anthony Edwards, before it, he came out and said it. You were there. You were literally there in front of Anthony Edwards, Andrew, when he said
that is what I do.
when he said that is what he does, guys. Breaking news. But when he said everyone wants the Lakers to win, no one wants the Timberwolves to win. What are your takeaways from the series, just kind of getting that win, and Anthony Edwards and those comments that he made, before the series even started?
Yeah, I mean, I think what's interesting is this is how the series should have played out. Like, before the season or series started, I dug into the numbers. I wrote about it a few times over at Zone Coverage. And like, the Wolves are just objectively, figuratively, literally, imaginationally, every type of adjective possible, they're a better team than the Lakers. They had better offensive ratings, better defensive ratings, better rebound percentage, assist percentages, less turnovers. They played with better pace. They had more options to go to off the bench. They like are the better team all around. And I think the main kind of hesitation for national media, I mean, I didn't have the Wolves winning in 5. I had them winning in 7. But I think the biggest hesitation is they have Luka Doncic and LeBron. And are those two guys really going to go out in the first round? Is, the conspiracy theorists out there is the league going to let those two guys go out in the first round? And the series kind of played out exactly how it should have. The Lakers had nights where Luka looked awesome and LeBron looked fine, and Reeves was a mess. They had nights where Luka and LeBron looked awesome and Reeves and their supporting cast couldn't hold up. And unfortunately, that's just kind of the tale of the series, is the Wolves were too deep. They had too good of a team. They had too many options. I mean, tonight, JJ says he's not playing Jackson Hayes. They go with Maxi Kleber instead, who hasn't played a meaningful basketball game since January. And Rudy Gobert just absolutely runs ruckshot over this game. And again, it's just a testament to how many options this team has. But I think winning in 5 is really surprising, but the Wolves winning shouldn't surprise anyone that's been watching them. Like, this is what they do. They show up.
27 points for Rudy Gobert. When you bring him up,
Big Rue.
Let's not go over that. Big Rue, 27 points, the biggest player of the night, the man, the myth, the legend, the MVP of this game right now that was played is Rudy Gobert. I thought he was just amazing tonight. I thought, like, all series he's been quiet. We've talked about it. People have talked about it, Andrew. And to see him tonight come out and do that after performing, after, in the past, he wasn't having like horrendous games, right? He was still doing
Yeah,
his
he's
thing.
fine.
He was still getting offensive rebounds. He was still okay, right? He was still playing defense. He just wasn't getting anything offensively. It wasn't his series necessarily. But then tonight, Rudy Gobert came out and he did that. And it was just amazing to watch him go do that, especially onto Luka Doncic, who we saw last year when Luka got Rudy and it was all around the internet. To get the game, like to get that series, like the Wolves moving on in the series with Rudy Gobert performing like that, I think that's got to feel so good for Rudy Gobert and for what he's done. Just him as person, you know what I mean? Personal. Oh my God, Andrew, think about this: 27 points. I'm gonna throw up thinking about these stats right now for people that are on here right now. 24 rebounds, 27 points, and 24 rebounds. 12 for 15 field goal percentage. What are those numbers, Andrew? What are those numbers? I know they have a small lineup, but good Lord, this man came out here, and for Wolves fans criticizing him, for people who criticize the trade, what has this man done? He's brought you to the Western Conference Finals. He's one of the key pieces to why the Wolves went to the West Finals last year. And then this season, he's brought you now in this game. He's bringing you to the second round. I don't know if they win the game tonight without Rudy Gobert performing like the way he did and taking it up on his shoulders, staying confident. Yes, he wasn't, the main focal point, Andrew, in the series, and he knew that, but he never complained. You never heard him complain. He came out and he did his job. He understood the assignment. He knew that he was a team player all along in this series. I think it showed tonight, man. What do you think of his game?
Yeah, I mean, Rudy, I think this series, the Lakers like game plan pretty hard to stop him. Like most defensive rebounding opportunities, they were getting like 2 or 3 people on him, just boxing out. They were making life difficult. They were elbowing him in the face. Like Rudy didn't really have a fun first 4 games, but tonight he was awesome. I don't think the Jackson Hayes, I don't think that was the biggest reason he was awesome. I think it was honestly like something I'm sure we'll get into, but just the pace and fouls that were being called in this game was just obnoxious. So Dorian Finney-Smith gets in foul trouble. Reeve has a couple fouls on him. Hachimura gets a foul on him. And
Yep.
I mean, Rudy drew 7 fouls in this game. I mean, he was awesome at just playing within his role.
Amazing.
Most of his shots and dunks were just putbacks off of the brick threes, which the Wolves shot 7 of 47 from 3-point range, and they won a basketball game. I mean, it was really, this is going to be the Rudy Gobert game, which
awesome.
If you weren't already convinced that like that trade makes sense, which again, to rehash it, Tim Connelly makes the trade. He's very public of saying, we want to bring in a winning culture to this team where we are doing things the right way. And we want Anthony Edwards to get deep into the playoffs as many years as humanly possible. And so far with Rudy, they've advanced to at least the second round twice now. And they had a good series against Denver. Like mission's kind of accomplished. And you look at what they gave up for Rudy. I mean, now looking back, I mean, Walker Kessler looks like a rotation big. Keontae George maybe is something. Everyone else in that trade is gone. So
everyone else is gone.
It's just interesting to look at it now and see Rudy have a game like tonight, which, let's be honest, if they go on and they're playing Golden State in the next round, I don't know how Golden State handles it. Like, they do not have bigs.
It's going to be so weird and crazy. The storylines, the in-game antics. We saw it with Golden State and Houston. I mean, they did it tonight. Every single game they play, there's antics in the game. There's physicality. There's almost fights, scraffles, you could call it, on the floor. For those who were watching the NBA back in the 80s and 90s, whatever, back in the day, you guys will say that's absolutely nothing. So let's take that out. But I mean, Gobert versus Draymond Green and all the stuff that Green's done. I'm curious to see how that affects Rudy Gobert in the second round. If they do match up, and kind of seeing how Gobert acts about that. I know it's got to be in Gobert's head. It's got to be in the Wolves' head. I know when Gobert
I will interrupt and promise you,
let's hear it.
Rudy Gobert doesn't think about it.
And last
He
year when that was going on, right?
he
Didn't they stick up for
100.
they stuck up for Gobert last year,
Mhm.
right? Like the
I'm
teammates,
just
like
saying,
that
like
series is set up for some,
the
but it's set
Draymond
up.
Green side, I think it's more in Draymond's head than it is
Yeah,
in
100%.
Gobert's. Like
Yeah,
Gobert, from
we
talking to
saw it in
him,
this
like
series. We saw it in this series with him
right,
and
like
Luka.
Gobert
It's
and
in Luka's
talking to
head more
him,
than him.
his thing is, yeah, if Draymond wants to choke me again and get kicked out of the league for 2 games, I'll do it 100 times out of 100.
Facts,
Like,
facts.
and Gobert, I think, is a type of guy that is supremely confident. Like, I promise you, he's not thinking about Draymond Green at all. I think the
Yeah,
matchup is going to be box office, like Ant on Jimmy Butler the
it's gonna
entire
be
game.
amazing.
Jaden's
The
going to be
history with the
guarding.
team,
Jaden's going
the
to be
Miami
guarding
series.
probably Steph most of the game. Like,
Yeah,
it's, but I'll just quell
yeah,
it and say,
yeah.
like, if it is Golden State next round, they face literally the same problem the Lakers did. The Wolves
Mhm.
are going to have way more options to
Yep.
go to. The Wolves are a better offense and defense than them in the regular season. And they're banking on Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry, who are both, older in their career, have had injuries, to carry them against a team that's led by, I mean, Jaden, Ant, Nas. Then you put on top Julius, Dante, Nikhil, and Rudy. I'll probably, when we find out if it's Golden State for sure, I'll dig into it more just to look at the numbers of it all. But it's hard to imagine the Wolves are going to not be favorited
I mean,
this time.
they will be, and you got to remember this too. The Wolves, if they face the Warriors, guys, I'll put it this way: there's a very high probability that we're facing Golden State. Like I put money on it that we're facing the Warriors.
They're up
That's
3-2
just
and
me.
they play at home in game 6.
Let's just put it
Like
that way.
yeah.
I would put money on it. And what I would say too for people listening right now is, if the Wolves were to face the Houston Rockets, let's say the Rockets win, Minnesota would be again same scenario where they were in when they faced the Los Angeles Lakers, which was they didn't have the home court advantage in the first round, right? Started in LA. So it would start in Houston. If they face the Warriors, because of where the seeding is, Minnesota would get the home court advantage in the next round. Kind of something that's weird because usually in the second round, you don't get that home court advantage, right, Andrew? But Minnesota would actually have home court advantage against Golden State Warriors. I don't know if that's a good thing in a weird way, because this team plays good on the road. I think starting in LA and breaking the 1-1 against LA was one of the keys why Minnesota broke open the thing. I know they're better for sure. But I think that's such a key thing. And Golden State, they've played the Wolves well in the regular season. I'm curious to see what happens. Obviously, we talked about the Gobert thing when you said, I don't think Gobert takes that completely personal, but I think Draymond's a different level of get under the skin than Luka. Luka's like, I'm going to take you on the dribble 1-on-1, maybe say something, but Draymond's like I'm going to get into you not only verbally, but I'm going to physically get into you. I'm going to the whole time be up in you. I think Draymond's just a different type of get under your skin. I mean, the way he was with the Rockets with the feet. I don't know if anyone knows what I'm talking about with his like feet on was it Easton, or I don't know who it was on, but just like doing like all these little antics is just insane with Draymond Green and what he gets away with referees. I think it's going to be like animated, like an extremely insane competitive series. I think Golden State's overlooked, but it's going to be, I'm curious to see kind of like what goes about with it. But yeah, I agree with you. Golden State doesn't have anything to stop the bigs. Let's see if Minnesota can take advantage of it. But yeah, Anthony Edwards, dude, to go through guys, Andrew, to go through Steph Curry, LeBron, Luka, Kevin Durant, Jokic. If, let's just say, hypothetically, Andrew, Anthony Edwards were to go through all of them, what are we talking? What kind of player, what kind of caliber player are you talking about if he were to go through and knock off all the legends out?
I mean, it's like, to put it into context, the only other guy that has done something similar is Dwayne Wade. He won a ring his second season.
Yeah.
He also had like peak of his powers Shaq on that team. So I mean, if you want to get into a Twitter argument over it, we can, but I don't think Dwayne was like the unquestioned leader
But at
of that
age
team like Ant
23
is.
doing that, 23 years old, he's
Yeah.
doing this right now. I see the next like heir to the throne is in. LeBron's gone, Steph's retired. All these guys are retiring. It's him, Wemby, Luca, SGA, Tatum.
Mhm.
Is
I
this
think
like
he's in
him,
that conversation.
but is he stepping into it if he's
I
eliminating these legends? Just be honest. Is he stepping into this right now? That's what I'm curious to say.
I wouldn't say so yet. I think to
Mm.
get to that, you are the next Kobe or Jordan, Magic. You need to win a ring.
Uh-huh.
And I'm still pretty bullish that I don't think this team can make it through OKC or Boston. I think they can go out and probably
Okay.
win against Golden State or Houston. And it's like another resume check. Like
Yeah.
LeBron, when he was going through the Eastern Conference, before
Mhm.
he went to Miami, he was checking off a lot of boxes too. When Jordan was, before he got his rings and he was dealing with the Pistons and dealing with the Hawks, I mean, he was getting his lumps too, and Boston, for just to be fair to Boston and Bird, although Jordan didn't really beat Boston and Bird. Anyways, irregardless, I think he's on the path. I if he were to go through and win it this year, like he were to go through Luca and LeBron, and then go through Steph and Jimmy, and then go through Shea, and then beat Boston for the championship, then yes, we are in rarefied air. Like the last guy under 27 years old to win a championship as the best guy was Steph. And he was 26. So Ant would be doing that 3 years sooner than
crazy.
Steph. You have to go back all the way to Wade before that. Wade did it at, I think he was 22. But again, the Shaq of it all, he's going to be on that path. I think the other side of it is just the Wolves have him under contract for 4 more years. So if they're getting to the Western Conference this year and last year, it's going to be pandemonium going forward, because it's just every year is going to start to look like it's championship or bust. The other thing with it is Ant just truly doesn't really want to be the face of the league. Like he wants to just hoop and go home, which I think attracts a lot of people to him, because they look at him and go like, oh, he's just like me. He goes to his day job, does it pretty darn well, and then goes home and plays 2K. But like Ant really doesn't want to be the face of the league. He's pretty genuine and like, nah, I just want to do my thing. Again, that's why I enjoy him. That's why I really like covering him. When you talk to him, you can tell that's how he is. But I mean, someone asked earlier in the chat here, just who do you think they match up better against, Golden State or Houston?
I mean, I think Houston. I'm gonna put it that way. I think Houston. I think Golden State's sneaky, crafty, sneaky good. I think Jimmy Butler, since they acquired him, is sneaky good. I don't know if like Minnesota necessarily like loses either one, but I also, if I was gonna give like a probability, I would put Golden State as like, yeah, I could see them winning. Like I could. I can't see Houston beating Minnesota. I think inexperience is huge. I think Minnesota matches up great against Houston. That's just my opinion. Again, just being young, I think Houston's a great team. You got some vets in there. Obviously, Fred VanVleet, been there before, done that. But Fred, at this point in his career, is just not completely it. I think when you depend on like Amin Thompson, Sengun, who's only 22, Jalen Green, who's young, they're kind of where the Wolves were when we were like in the Memphis series. Like I kind of like mirror us when we were in the Grizzlies series years ago. We're a great team. We might be great and competitive in games, but at the end, when you got to close it out, as I've seen even in the series with them in Golden State, a lot of times Golden State can figure things out, because I think I just think they're just young. They'll figure it out eventually. It just isn't there this year for Houston. So yeah, I don't know about you, but I have Golden State as the worst matchup or the harder matchup for the Timberwolves, and Houston as the easier matchup.
It's interesting because Houston has a lot more
Yeah,
they can throw at the Wolves. Like they can go small with
I agree
Sengun
with
at the
that.
center.
I agree
They
with
can
that,
go
and
with
they have
Terry
bigger players.
Easton and Sengun. They can go with Steven
Jabari
Adams. They
Smith
can.
Jr. too.
Yep. I mean, they have the depth and they have the like flexibility to go with
Yeah,
them. It's
yeah,
just you're right. Like their vets are Steven Adams, Dylan Brooks, and Fred Van
and
Vliet.
Adams is
And
huge, or he's old.
that's tough when your vets are not the best players on your team. I mean, we
Yeah,
see that all the time with Mike
yeah.
Conley. Mike Conley is priceless to
800
this
years
team.
old.
Hit a
Yep.
massive three in this game, but it's really hard
Incredible.
when your priceless guy isn't the first, second, third, fourth best. The other thing is Golden State. I just I don't know what they would be able to do to mess with the Wolves. Like
Mhm.
I think their preference is to play small. It looks like Kaminga's unplayable in the playoffs. I don't know what post play they really can
Yeah.
go to other than Draymond. And like Jimmy's already banged up. Steph is playing a
Yep.
million minutes.
Yep.
B
Yep.
Pod, I don't know if he's it. I love GP2, but I mean, he's a
Moses Moody.
non-shooting 6'4"
That dude's a stud.
guy. Moses Moody's fine.
I
I
think
mean,
he's gonna be awesome.
in the
But yeah,
grand scheme of things
yeah.
of like the series, Moses Moody would be like the
Yeah, yeah,
ninth guy
yeah.
on the
Of
Wolves.
course, of course, of course.
So it's hard for me to see Golden State adjusting. It's just Steph would have to go nuclear every game. Jimmy would have to be awesome. But I agree with you. I think Houston is probably the better matchup for them just because there's so much newness there. There's so many young players there.
Of course.
And just there's a lot of guys that I could see just completely falling off. Like Dylan Brooks is just as likely to go 0 for 12 as he is to go
Yep.
5 for 7. And then past that, I mean, now we're talking about 2 weeks from now, we might be in the Western Conference Finals again. And if you would have woken a lot of people up in December, who would have thought we'd be in this position?
Incredible that they could be even in this position, guys. We're going to talk more about the Timberwolves and the big win against the Los Angeles Lakers and moving on after this quick ad read. I don't know about you guys, but I love sports betting a ton, guys. And I used to live in Phoenix, Arizona, and I could sports bet legal there by just going on an app, and I could just bet anything I wanted. And I came to Minnesota, and I realized I can't necessarily do that on every single application like I could when I was in Arizona. But with Better, one of the best sports betting apps out there, I realized I could do that. I could go on and I could make any bet I really wanted to do. I could create any lineup I wanted to do. And the best part about Better is that they do injury revives. So if a player were to get hurt, let's say the other day in the Bucks game when Damian Lillard tore his Achilles, you get an injury revive for free. You don't lose your lineup, guys. You get refunded for it from Better. They're the best sports betting app out there. You can go on your app store today and search BETR, type that in on iOS or Android app store. Download Better today. Put our promo code the Daily SPN, all one word, the Daily, letter S, letter P, letter N. You can see it for those watching right now. You can see it on the screen as well. The Daily SPN. You're going to get hooked up with 100% deposit match on your first deposit up to $77. That's such an easy thing, man. Start sports betting today. Obviously, the playoffs are still going on. You can bet on any sports out there. Better is your go-to place for that. But Andrew, on top of that, I got to ask you, man, Julius Randle, what an incredible series for Randle. Obviously, in the first game, a little bit shaky, 7 turnovers, right? In the first game. But Randle tonight and the rest of the series has been amazing. Even the first game, he rebounded. It wasn't like he had a horrible game. It was just that he had the 7 turnovers, so it became an kind of game. Other than that, he's been awesome in the series. Tonight, 23 points for Randle, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 8 for 16. Good Lord, man. This dude has been balling, absolutely balling, not just in the playoffs, but longer than that. For those tuning in, Andrew, who maybe didn't follow Randle since the beginning of the year, what would you say he's improved upon? How has he became the player he's became today? What's changed about Julius Randle? Maybe he's bought into the system. Maybe he's becoming a player that New York never saw. And then in the playoffs, Andrew, why is Julius Randle succeeding so much for the Timberwolves and being a game changer, my man?
Yeah, so Randall's been pretty open about it of like before he came to Minnesota, his kind of what New York, what other teams gave him as like a successful game. If he were to say, "Hey, you had a good game, Julius Randle," it was dependent on if he scored 30 or not. And that was what he was asked to do. He came to Minnesota, and Finch and Conley, and credit to the staff, they talked to him and were like, "We don't need you to score 30. We need you to score like 15 to 20, get 8 rebounds, 5 assists, move the ball, just play within yourself, be, you know, the best version of whatever role player you can be." And it took him probably 2.5 months to buy in fully to that, just because it's a lot of like rewiring your brain when you're all of a sudden asked to not do what you've
and
been
traded
doing for the last 8
right
years.
away.
So he's bought in. He knows what's expected of him now. I mean, 5 games in this series, he was 22.6 points, 5.2 boards, 4.4 assists, shot 48% from the field, 40% from 3. I mean, he was awesome. Like that's the number 2 that they needed. I mean, against LA in particular, because there's so much attention to Ant, this is probably what he would have looked like last year if he didn't get hurt playing with Brunson. When Brunson's getting doubled, when Brunson's getting just hedged off of screens, Randle was able to pretty much work in space at will in this series. And because of that, the Wolves really allowed him to set up most of the offense. Even tonight, I mean, he got in foul trouble in the third quarter and missed most of it, and still finished with like an awesome game because Ant is just commanding so much attention, which, I mean, we can get into that too. Ant didn't have the best game tonight, but
we'll get into it in a second.
That being said, I mean, Ant did kind of everything right again, which this is now 5 straight games where he sees a double come and he gets off of it. This is 5 straight games where he's reading the defense appropriately. He had no turnovers again tonight. I mean, he has just flipped the switch from the end of the regular season to now he is just, I mean, I know he joked in the press conference a couple days ago saying like Dante's the reason he's reading defenses better, but that's just Ant being Ant. Like the reality of it is he is seeing the game at a different level. He's seeing it at a much slower level, and he is just making every read pretty much perfectly. And that wasn't something I had on my bingo card coming into the postseason. I did not expect this switch.
I didn't either. And we saw it in the season where Ant would take over. It's hero ball. It goes to Randle. It's hero ball, right, guys? And you see this staggering offense kind of happen with the Timberwolves. In the playoffs, they've been amazing. It's been absolutely awesome to watch them play. They look like one of the best teams, period, in the NBA, like easily. And it's just awesome to watch them play. Everything's come together. Like you said, Randle is bought in. He's fully bought in. He's not going for a stat. He's not going for 30. He realizes to be a great player, I don't need to be the focal point of the offense like I was in New York. I don't have to average 28 or 30 or whatever. I can average 18, 17 points a game and also give you assists, give you rebounds, play on the defensive end. Good Lord, I have watched Julius Randle play very good defense in the playoffs, the whole series. He's been an absolute dog on that end. And that is a game changer. It is a game changer for the Minnesota Timberwolves. I mean, it's awesome to see him match up physically against an opposing team, not force anything. When he gets doubled, he commands a double team in the post against the Lakers, and they come in to close out on Julius, and he passes it out. You're getting 2 guys with Anthony Edwards and Julius who they command a double team. And it is game-changing for the Timberwolves, just spreading the floor. And Julius is making the right pass. And like you said, Andrew, Anthony Edwards, he might not have 40 or 50 points or 38 every game, but he's doing everything else because he's letting the game come to him and he's reacting to what the game's giving him. He's not forcing it like he usually has done in maybe the regular season at points when he has done hero ball, when we have ripped on him on certain things. He's going out there and he's playing team basketball. I mean, it's incredible to watch him. Tonight, 15 points for Anthony Edwards. If I told you before the game, Andrew, that Anthony Edwards is going to have 15 points tonight, are the Timberwolves going to win? You might have said no.
I
Like
mean,
he
you
had
could have told me anything and I would have said no.
15 points, 8 assists,
I thought
3
they'd close
steals,
it out.
11 rebounds. He had a double-double. He almost had a triple-double. Think about that. He had
Mhm.
15 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists. He almost had a triple-double, 3 points. By the way, he was leading in the plus minus at halftime. Ended second in plus
Ye
minus, other than Rudy Gobert at plus 18. Ant was plus 12 tonight.
The 11
That's
missed
incredible.
threes is a tough look. Like,
It was.
I'll
The whole
rain on
threes
it a
were
little
insane.
bit of, like, this game, there wasn't a lot of threes that he took that I was like, "Oh, man, Ant, what are we doing?"
It's not just him, it's the
Most
team, though. 7 for 47?
Right, but
7 for 47 is actually atrocious. Like, I actually
yeah.
would rather grab cleaning supplies and chug bleach than watch 7 for 47 every day of my life, man.
I can't say I'd go that far because they were like good threes. Like I didn't have
I'm to the
honestly out
extreme.
of the 47 threes, there's maybe like 5 of them I had an issue with, like just
Yeah,
guessing. Like
yeah.
I didn't cringe a lot when they were shooting them. But with for Ant, like I think the 0 for 11 threes is the one thing that I think he's probably going to get harped on for the next week is just, you gotta, when it's not
Yeah,
falling, you
facts.
just gotta attack. And yes, we know you're not getting the whistle tonight, but like you just gotta attack. There is a question in the chat here from Brooke. I'll ask it over to you, Evan.
Let's hear it.
What's the key to making Jaden be more consistent?
Um, okay, with Jaden, I think Jaden's just big on in the beginning of a game. It's kind of like Gobert. How do you get him involved early in the game? Because I think Jaden is just such a big confidence guy. I think we've seen it before. He feeds off confidence. When he derails it in a little bit, it hinders him. I think when you get him a little bit of shots, not only does it affect his offensive game, it greatly affects his defensive game. I know he's a great defender. He's an elite defender, one of the best we've had in a Minnesota Timberwolves uniform. But I think it just takes him to a new level. It takes him from a good defender to an elite all-time NBA caliber, first team defensive type of player if he gets involved in the offensive end. So I think that's how you take Jaden to that level. I think you give him some good looks down low, let him do his thing, and just incorporate him. I think that's just the biggest thing for Jaden. I think he's growing so much as a player. I think he's grown so much in this series, in the year here. I think Jaden's going to have an awesome rest of the playoffs. I think this isn't just a fluke. I don't think he just had a good series. I think this is Jaden McDaniels. I think he's evolving into this type of player. I think he's I think he has a hot head to an extent, and we could say. So I think him learning to control emotions, to figure that out on his own end is going to help him as well. If he can get that under control, along with how to channel his energy to the right things, I mean, you're looking at a player who's 24 years old, matches Anthony Edwards, 23 years old, matches Naz Reid at 24 years old, I believe, as well. There's a realm where you see the Timberwolves becoming, if let's say there's like a second window of this contention when Gobert's gone, let's say Mike Conley's gone, kind of things like that. Andrew, there's a second window where these players, again, they're 24, 23 years old. They don't even remember this. NBA players do not hit their prime until they're like 27, 28. There is a realm where these three can be insane in the playoffs, insane in the regular season, insane going deep, could win a title together. They're that talented and they all love each other. Do you think like how important or what have you seen? Because I don't know about you, Andrew. I've seen a step. These three guys, they've made a step in this playoffs. There's a maturity. There's something different about these guys that I didn't see in the Memphis series. I might not have seen completely in the Denver series from every guy or in the Phoenix back in the day. Just different things that I've seen from these players where they look like they're maturing. They look like they're playing. They're making the right plays together. And you can tell they have this chemistry, man. There's a chemistry between these three, Andrew.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. Like I think last year in the playoffs, we saw quite a bit of like Jaden emerging. Last season he shot like 40% from 3 too. Like there was a lot of hope for Jaden coming into this season. Him and Naz are like real life best friends. Like they both stay in Minneapolis during the off season. They're at the practice facility all off season together. And I think Jaden, there was a really big like anticipation that he was going to take a leap early in the season. and it just didn't work out, which sometimes that happens. Sometimes it's just ball doesn't go in the hoop, offense doesn't call for it. He kind of became like a back burner priority because getting Julius and Dante involved and comfortable in the offseason. And I mean, I think now, really since January, we've seen what Jaden was supposed to be all season. I mean, he's a guy that can score in the teens every night. He's a guy that can get 7-8 rebounds. He's pretty good moving the ball. He's like one of their better like catch and drive guys, especially out of the corner where he can kind of manipulate the paint and get that weird little Jaden 2-point paint runner jumper thing off. I mean, Jaden, I've said it kind of periodically throughout the season. Like I'm a Jaden guy. Like he's super good dude to talk to. He's super funny. He's hilarious. And I think I think there is like a legitimate path for him to be like a 2 or 3-time All-Star in his career. He's progressing that way. In the postseason, he's shooting 39% from 3 again. He's averaging 15 a game. Like there is that possibility. The guy that I'm more, I guess, not as bought into, and I know this is a Minnesota podcast, so I apologize in advance. Naz Reid. Like it's just the consistency thing for me. And we kind of saw it again tonight where, you know, game 1, he pops off. Game 4, he has the fourth quarter scoring 8 points and wins the game. And tonight he was relatively, I mean, let's just be honest. He was pretty ineffective. 3 points in 21 minutes. Yeah. And that's just kind of the roller coaster with Naz Reid that I think I'm still waiting to see get stabilized. I would much rather live in a world where Naz Reid is scoring 12 every game versus 19 one game and 7 the next game and then 25 and then 4, just because if he's going to be like a building block, that consistency needs to be there. But like for this season, they don't need that from Naz. Like if Naz comes in the first half and he plays 8 minutes and it's not going well, they have Julius, they have Rudy, they have Jaden who can all kind of play in the post now. So it's not as dire. To your point on like them being like friends, like they're the only 3 people left from that Memphis series. I mean, Naz came in a year before Jaden and Ants, but Jaden and Ants came in did the draft process together, got drafted together, did training camps together. Like they are all like real life friends. It's not just like a work relationship. So
and how about the Lakers drafting Jaden McDaniels, guys, and then trading him?
Okay. No.
What do you mean?
That trade was made picks before Jaden was picked.
Just think, Andrew's ruining our fun, guys. Andrew's ruining our fun on the podcast.
In the NBA, trades cannot be finalized until the draft is over. But that trade was made in advance. So it was not the Lakers picked Jaden that traded him. It was the Wolves told the Lakers to pick Jaden.
I'm not going to hold you to it. We're going to ride everything until the end with this podcast. I just want to put this on the screen too, Andrew, for you. I want to put it for everyone on here right now. We're going to post it as well when this concludes. Take a look at that, boys and girls. Take a look at that. Every single expert picked it. They picked the Lakers to win. Remember that. Remember what we are putting on the screen right now. Screenshot it if you want to. We're going to post it later. They took the Lakers, guys. And you know what? People can say what they want to say. Even I maybe had taken the Lakers. So I'm sure someone will be like, well, you took the Lakers too. I did take the Lakers in 7. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, Minnesota. But, I apologize. You can hold it for me. You can bash me. And I will own up to my mistakes. But every ESPN guy had them too. So we'll put it that way through that.
For what it's worth, I didn't take the Lakers.
He didn't. That is true. That is true. He didn't take it.
And I'm well, yes, I am a Homer Media member and a fan of the Wolves. I'm not a blind faith Homer Media member.
I throw it in there. We're gonna get to another ad read and then we'll be right back, guys. What's up, Minnesota fans? Many of you know that I help fans get tickets into games, and now I'm giving you an opportunity to get tickets to any sporting event you want. Not just basketball. We're talking football. We're talking hockey. We're talking soccer, man. Any sporting event that's in town, or maybe it's a concert. All you have to do is use my promo code, The Daily Wolves, all caps, on SeatGeek. That's right. I partnered with the SeatGeek app. You can download it on iOS or Android devices. You can find it on your web browser at SeatGeek.com. Check it out today. Enter my promo code, The Daily Wolves, and get $20 off your first order. Man, shout out to SeatGeek, man, for real. That is the spot to go. One of our other co-hosts who's not here tonight, his name's Matt. He goes on there to buy Justin Bieber tickets all the time on SeatGeek. He's a big fan of Justin Bieber. So shout out to Matt, by the way, who's not here tonight. But yeah, use our promo code, The Daily Wolves, and go get that $20 off. And guess what? The Timberwolves, they're going to go to the next round, so you can buy tickets. Or the Minnesota Wild, when they come home next, you can get tickets to their game. Shout out to SeatGeek for making that happen. Andrew, if Minnesota, let's just say, hypothetically, now we see the round is ended now for Minnesota, would you say Minnesota has the advantage to Houston? It doesn't matter who moves on, Houston, Golden State, at this rate. Isn't it an advantage that Minnesota is getting all this time off to heal? They banged up, right? We see how it is, how the series is going, right? With Golden State, with Houston, and Curry, like you said, a little bit banged up, maybe not 100%, but Jimmy Butler banged up. I mean, how important is that? And then we'll kind of wrap things up here.
It's super important. I mean, it's the same thing the Wolves talked about it before going into let's just say they talked about it the week heading into the play-in, where they were like, we need that week off. And it's not like, yes, it is to help with health, like get your body right. We got old guys. Mike's on our team. Rudy's on our team. Julius is 30. Like they can appreciate the rest. More importantly, it gives the Wolves staff time to prepare, which
100%.
It's a really overlooked facet of the NBA because it's not really talked about. But the bottom of the bench guys on the Wolves quite literally study opposing teams to be the scout team. So this gives those guys more time to watch film.
Shout out Joe Ingles.
Shout out Joe Ingles. It gives like Terrence Shannon Jr. might be playing Jimmy Butler on the scout team.
Yeah.
It gives Terrence Shannon Jr. 3 more days to dig into, like, how does Jimmy get those pump fakes in the post? How does Jimmy like to go if he catches it and there's a pick to his left? Does he go right or does he go left?
Yeah.
And like, again, it seems like a minute detail, but like that stuff matters when you're Jaden and you can go up against somebody that's watched 4 days of film of Jimmy Butler. You just get a better feel for what Jimmy is going to be when the game starts. Like, yes, no one's going to be Steph Curry. That's just unrealistic. But like, if they have Rob suiting up as Steph Curry and Rob's watching 3 days of Steph Curry film, that when Ant is guarding him, it gets him a little bit more prepared. And then the other thing is like Chris Finch, he coached his tail off in this series. He had a good game plan every night. He made good adjustments. His staff has been awesome, from Pablo, Nori, Corliss Williams on down. Like, it gives them time to prepare too. It gives them time to watch back all of the Golden State Houston games so that they can like get that structure in. Also, it just should be said, these guys want to stay at home. Like, they want to be able to sleep in their own bed. They want to be able to have like a couple days off to hang out with their kids or their family.
Yeah.
And that goes that goes miles this time of the year. Yeah. Like, just that mental break of having to play every other day.
Yep.
And I mean, if that series goes 7, they might not be playing until like Wednesday, Thursday next week. That's a good chunk of time off.
Huge. Like you said, huge chunk of time off. Being around that, it's incredible for the guys, especially a lot of the players who have newborns, right? Or firstborns into their family, right? First kids that they've ever had. So it's going to be awesome to see how the Timberwolves kind of come about. It's going to be crazy to watch Houston and Golden State. If you're a Wolves fan, you should be hoping Houston wins the next game. They force a game 7 and keeps going down and grinding and grinding and grinding. That's what you want. Regardless of who you face, you want them to go deep so they don't have as much time off. And that way Minnesota can be hopefully ready, well rested, and just ready to go. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I mean, you look at it before the season starts, they trade Karl-Anthony Towns. It happens. The trade goes down. They get Julius, they get Dante, and it looks like a trade that might be working out for both teams, which is so rare in the NBA where it works out for both sides. But it's just one of those trades. It's just so far, it's really worked out for both sides. So it's been great for the Knicks, been great for the Wolves guys, and it's awesome to see Julius really coming to his own. And I think Dante had a quiet series. I wouldn't expect that to continue going into much longer. I just think Dante's due. I posted that today before, and Dante obviously didn't have an amazing game tonight, but I think he's due. I think he's due. We've seen him too many times this year. Nickeil, he's been around as well, but I just think like the Lakers had something like with Luka and how big he is, where it just doesn't necessarily matchup wise. It's not great for Nickeil. It's not great for Dante. I think you go to the next round, Andrew. Those two are matching up a lot better against those teams. So I'm curious to see what they do next round, guys. We have a lot that we can dive into in the matchups, everything between the teams. We're going to kind of wait till everything pans out, see how it goes. We got a lot of surprises. We got watch parties. I was at TLC tonight, 10 or 11 chicks. They were awesome. They were a packed full house tonight. There's a lot of different things that are going to be happening. Stay tuned. As always, guys, until next time, we appreciate everyone for following the Daily Wolves Courtside. And go Wolves.
Go Wolves.